and the atmosphere and the weather. Hope it's not too sunny, and hope you're not stressed. Okay, so welcome you to another wonderful edition with Asset Debt Recovery. And like you know my name is Oluwataye Anolualajumoke. And today we will be discussing about investment. Yes, so our topic for today states leveling up your finances, unveiling the secret of smart investment. Yes, we talked about leveling up your finances last week, and this week that was where we talk about the smart goals. And this week we'll be looking at the smart investment. We're just going to run few ideas around it, and then definitely I believe you'll be able to pick up one or two things at the end of today and make use of them. So let's start this way. As a woman, as a person, as an individual, I want you to imagine your future, like you're financially empowered and secured, and thanks to those moments back days when we used to plant, the planting season where you plant those things, maize and stuff like that. Imagine if you don't do that and then you are craving for corn. Let's say you're using corn, for example, in corn season. Will you be able to eat it? So now investment is just more like you're planning and you're saving something for the future. And whatever you do now that it's your planting season is definitely going to be what you would bank on later in future. And so if we're talking about investment now, it opens doors to that reality, transforming your financials, your finances from your bank into that booming ecosystem where you have enough. And so there now, before we dive in, so before we begin, I'm going to first of all define what investment means. Now firstly, we can say investment means putting your money to work for you. Yes, like you saving, but it's not like a saving of you putting money in bank. It's like you're sending your money on an errand. You're putting your money somewhere to later yield something later for you in future, which is going to be much as the way you like it, depending on how much you input, depending on how much energy you put into what you're doing. So now, if you learn to commit your funds to things that of course potentially grow, generates and definitely generates refunds over time, like interest and stuff like that, definitely you would have enough at the end of the day. And there are a lot of things you can actually invest in. There are a lot of things, even though most people are actually scared when it comes to investments because of the risk. But definitely I need to tell you that it is important as a person that you really need to save into your future, so that at the time when you're old, you're aged, and your children are not there with you, you definitely have one or two things to bank on, something to survive with. So I'll be going forward to mention a few things where a lot of people invest in. The first one is stock. Yes, what does stock mean? Is like owning a tiny slice of a company, giving you a stake in its profits and potential growth. We all know what it means. Like, let's say for example, the way Dangote had the new refinery now, you having a share, you got a stock there, and then later on in future you have something coming to you, more like a dividend coming to you. Now also we have bonds, and we have mutual funds, and then the common one that everybody knows currently is all around Nigeria as I now. A lot of people see it everywhere, every now and then. They tell you do it, do that. Real estate, yes, it's also a platform where you as a person can make investment into. And going forward, if you're looking at investments, it also has its own risk. Yes, its own risk. And if you're considering the risk, definitely you're actually not going to have an investment for yourself. But they said life is all about risk. You just have to weigh the options. But as an individual, definitely if you're looking towards investing, you also need to look at the risk. And some of the risk factors when it comes to investments include the market risk, inflation risk. Currently we all know how the economy is right now. So for some people that invested, some are making profit and some are not. And also the credit risk and the liquidity risks. Those are the risk factors that are into when it comes to you investing. So it's very, very important that while you plan to invest in your future, you also need to look at the risk factors. Be prepared. Yes, you have to prepare. Of course, some times ago, I know a friend who apparently invested into crypto, and then all of a sudden he got all his money lost. And a lot of things is even going to happen apart from all other factors of risk that we mentioned. Some can end up, maybe the company you invested into can end up going bankrupt. Some probably they got hacked and then they lost all their stocks. So if you're planning to invest in your future, you also need to plan for the risk factors. It's very, very important. And going forward, we talk about leveling up your finances. Now, another important thing you also need to look at is when you are planning to invest, when you're planning to go for an investment, there are steps you need to take, which is very, very important and necessary. And the first step is you need to define your goal. Yes, and that was where we talked about last week, that we talked about SMART goals. You need to define your goals. You need to know what exactly you want to do. You need to have a defined purpose. It's very, very important. That would determine and give you ideas and give you heads ups on how you're going to how you're going to plan your ways, and how you're going to know that, okay, at the end of this period you should be earning. It's like a farmer planting maize. Of course, he knows that maize period is going to be 3 months, so he needs to plant the maize ahead, because he knows that at the end of the 3 months, and then he knows that, at the end of 3 months I'm having my harvest and everything is going to be fine. And in the midst of the planting, of course, there's going to be crop pest seasons destroying some of the plants. So it's important for also as an individual that you need to define your goals. You need to know why are you doing that thing you want to do. Why do you want to invest in that platform you're looking at? It's important. You need to look at it. And also you need to look at the risk tolerances, which I mentioned earlier. You need to weigh the risk factors. It's very, very important. The risk factors also needs to be part of your plan, so that when the propositions are coming, the projections are coming towards you, you're already aware. It's not going to come to you in shock. It's not going to, come to you unplanned and unprepared. So you also need to weigh the risk factors. Look at it. Can you dive to it? Can you dance to it? For example, those into the crypto world, currently the oil price is fluctuating, and you know that, if you buy at this moment, will you be able to sell? Can you wait till when you can sell on an higher price? For instance, currently now, the price of goods in market as on Monday, it actually happened to be, the price of goods as on Monday is actually not what I'm seeing today. And I wish I could have, let me just stock on Monday. But I was waving, like I was just trying to look at, don't let me buy. And at the end of the day, I didn't plan for the increment. I didn't plan for the increase in price. So as an individual planning to do something, it's very, very important that you look at what factors can hinder this investments yielding enough profits for me. We all have projections to always yield much profit, but have we as an individual ever have that thought of, what if this thing is not giving me that enough profit I'm looking at? So it's important for us to look at the risk factors. It's very, very important. Another point is you need to do your research. Yes, for any investment you're planning to go into, it's important you make your research and make those findings right, and be sure, know that you're certain. For example, the real estate, we see how a lot of real estate companies are advertising from one platform to another, and you as a person, you're interested, you have the money down, do your research, do your due diligence perfectly, so that you will not be a victim of being scammed or even losing your money to the sharks in the investment you're planning to go into. So it's important you do your research, do it properly, make your due diligence properly, and also you need to start small. Now, when you do your research and you're ready to go, please don't rush. Take it step by step. We call it baby step. Take it step by step, one step at a time. Start gradually. You have 50,000 naira. If the investment you are looking towards, oh, you can start with 50,000. Start with 50,000. Don't pack all your millions to start an investment you're not even certain about yet, because investing, it requires time. It requires endurance. It requires patience. It has to grow gradually. It's not something that just you plant in a day and then boom, you're reaping. No, it grows gradually. So for individuals also, it's important that you start gradually. It's very, very important you start gradually. Just take it one step at a time. And lastly, you need to embrace the power of time. Yes, which I mean that, what I'm trying to say is, the earlier you invest, the earlier the profits too, the earlier you start gaining. Now, for example, for some people that got land, let's say as far back as 2005, 2006, even down to 2010. Now, if they are planning to sell that land today, it's going to be a huge sum of money, and they will definitely make, if not times two, they will definitely like multiples interest, depending on the location of where the land is. So the earlier you start, which is why I'm saying that for you to invest in your future, you need to start now. You don't have to procrastinate. You don't have to, delay the time. Once you've done all your due diligence, you make your research, you make your findings, then you can start. And that was why I said earlier on that you can start gradually. You don't have to jump, saying, oh, I'll do it next month and I'll buy like 50 shares, or I'll buy like 100 shares. You can start, even if it is 1 or 2 or even 10, you can start, then increase the pace as time goes by, which is very, very important. So, our dear viewers, I'm going to share few tips with you, which is now part of you investing in your future. Once you've make up your mind that you're investing, and you've seen a platform where you want to invest, please and please, I'm going to share these tips with you. Leverage on technology. Yes, technology has made things so easy. That's other means where you can even do your research. Go online, read a lot of things about what you need to read, and then be sure. Also, make sure that you seek professional guidance. It's very, very important. Speak to a consultant, speak to a financial consultant, professional that can guide you, that can educate you more about what you want to do, so that you will know that, okay, yes, you're really knowledgeable about this thing. And also diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's very important. You can diversify. You can have stock, you can have bonds, you can have, even invest in real estate and others, even in agriculture. You can, diversify your plans. Just have a range pool of ideas where you can invest. And remember, investments, it can really seem very complex because of the risk factor, because of what we hear and because of what we see, a lot of people being a victim of these things. But with the right guidance, I can assure you that you can actually take your finances to a powerful level, because with patience, endurance, and that's consistency and positive mind, you can definitely have your own future brighter. So, our dear viewers, today we'll come to the end of today's session, and before I draw the line, I'm going to say that you just have to grab your financial backpack, and like I said last week, you don't have to grieve for financial constraint. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've been able to catch one or two things. If you have any comments, any questions, suggestions, drop in the comments box. We'll read them and get back to you. Thank you so much once again, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.